So these are the woods behind my campsite. It's an important part of the woods behind my campsite because right there is the composting toilet, which, you know, from the way you use it, it's just like a regular outhouse. But that's an important part of life here at my campsite. This land historically was part of the Ricker settlement up in what is now Little River State Park. It's one of the parcels of the Mount Mansfield State Forest. And along that side is the outlet of Cotton Brook, which makes a little kind of a lagoon there. And to my right off, you can see where the forest drops off. That is the northern end of the reservoir proper. And these two sites here, this one and the one north of me, are actually accessible by foot from trails and roads in Cotton Brook, so we do get the occasional visitor walking through down to our beaches. But this is the back way into my campsite, number 20. I haven't got a cute name for it. For some reason they put the state park rules sign up at the back of the campsite. Usually that goes up further in the site. But you see the lagoon and the beautiful fall colors. It's kind of spectacular. Right there is my wood pile, because I got a lumberjane when I'm camping, and you can't cut any standing wood, but you can cut anything that's dead and down. So I'll drag that stuff back, and I like to leave a wood pile at a campsite when I leave. This untidy looking area is kind of my workshop. And you see I do my sawing off of this bench. These benches and the stumps and stuff, they come with the campsite. They're all movable. They're kind of site furniture. But the last time I was camping, I built a nice end table, and this time I'm thinking of something, a chair with a back, maybe something you can recline back. But this here is beaver cut, and beavers seem to like cherry. So those are nice and strong. This is some kind of pine, but I like the curve of it. So I want to incorporate that in the construction of the chair. I've got some interesting pieces, and I like the way the beaver cut looks, and I like the way the driftwood looks. So lashed together, it'll make a nice chair, I think. So there's my water bucket. My brother-in-law gave that to me. And at first I thought you had to hang it by the handles, but it just sits there freeform. It holds 10 liters of water, and that's 10 liters of rainwater right there. Well, it's probably only 9 liters now. But it turns out if you leave it under your rain catcher, and I have one on the other side of the tent, because you know you want to tie the tarp so that the rain comes down kind of in a concentrated place and doesn't pool up on your tent. Put that under your rain catcher, and it takes maybe 15 minutes for it to fill. So you get nice fresh water you can filter it to drink, or you can use it for washing, and it's kind of nicer than lake water for that purpose. Here's my fire circle, my tinder and kindling that was too untidy to leave in the wood pile. And yeah, I know pizza box isn't regulation, but I was coming home kind of late last night, and it was I was tired, and it was cold, and I was passing a pizza place, so I got a calzone, and I made it 2 meals, but it'll start a fire nice. When I got here, this roasting stick was here, which is not a paragon of craftsmanship, but I made this, which is not beautiful but very useful. It's a double roasting stick, so you can weenie roast on it. And this is a toaster basket. Primitive, but it works. So if you want to have a piece of cake there, I have a cake that's very good toasted there, or even if you get donuts at the cider mill, that's very delicious. Toasted with a marshmallow, oh yeah. So from this bench, which is only movable if you got a couple of people, you have this view. And I like to sit with my chair and my feet up on that bench in the afternoon when it catches the sunlight and look out, and you can see the people go by in boats. And here's, you know, my main kitchen area. Of course, you know, the toilet paper is important. You got to know where that is, and it's got to be visible. But my glove collection and my washed dishes and water. My tool tree, and yeah, that thing of leaves, I use that as a broom. Yes, I did tie together Twigs and leaves for a broom. Yeah. My lumberjaning tools. I like the way they look. Trash bag and such. I got a forked stick so I can lift things up high if I need to. My lines. Bungee cords tied around things make really super coat hooks and such. And there's my cheerful little candle lantern. All clothes in here, miscellaneous items, household items, all kind of stuff. There's my cheerful little camp lantern, which is visible for a long way all around the reservoir. So if I go out for a nighttime paddle, I leave that lit. My chair, it moves. That's the happy thing. But it's here because this spot gets the morning sunlight, and I was sitting here reading this morning. And from up here, my tarp's got a low profile because the site's got a dip in it. Over here, I got my, here's my tent, which I finally got pitched. It took a couple tries. I finally got pitched in a place that's really super comfortable. And later on today, when it's warmer, I will take out the sleeping bags and I'll put them up here on my drying line. Once again, bungees and a lark head. And this is my secondary tarp. And this line's really handy for drying and folding. And that needs doing because a couple of days ago we had a big honking storm and it rained buckets and buckets and buckets. And I needed to tarp off the wide side of the tent against the wind. And I'm going to probably have to do that again in a couple of days. This tree came with a hook embedded in it because years and years ago somebody put a screw eye in there. Now it's just a handy hanger. It's where I keep my PFD and my spray skirt and all that. Seemed like kind of a no-brainer on the way down to the beach. This is my trail down to the beach. We're going to take a little detour though. Go see the lagoon. Because on this side, the thing about beavers is when they live on a big body of water, they don't build dams. They build their lodge, but they still cut trees. And they don't really do anything with them. And in this particular body of water, because of the way the wind is usually, the beaver cut washes up. And a lot of it washes up here on the northern shores. So all in here in the lagoon, during low water, you couldn't walk in through here, but high water, but it's low water now, so you can walk in here and you can pick up the beaver cut. A lot of the nearby beaver cut I've already picked up because, you know, it's like a firewood factory. And pick it up and take it in. But that is just spectacularly pretty. The guy at the next site over was telling me how this summer his dog got into playing with a juvenile beaver. And they were swimming around and playing tag, and he was really scared because, you know, a beaver could kill a dog. But it was clearly a juvenile and they're clearly playing. So, back up onto my trail. This is where I keep my paddles. And this is my beach. There's backward to my lagoon. I say mine, right? Because I live here for about a week. Over there on that little spit of land, that's the tail end of another campsite. A couple nights ago, there was a whole troop of Boy Scouts there. Sites are far apart. You mostly can't hear the other people. But at night, you can see their headlamps through the trees. It's nice having neighbors. When the water is low, these stones are good stepping stones for pulling out your canoe by. Just gonna walk around for a moment. See, that's the view up the res, and way up there in the marsh is where the parking area is. And if you go down that way, I don't know, 3 miles, you run into Little River State Park on the right shore. And then if you hang a right, because it's a Y-shaped body of water, you hit the dam. If you hang a left there, you go to the Blush Hill end. And there's scattered campsites all around. And right now it's about as beautiful as it ever gets. Morning sun and such. Today's probably going to be our last day of summer weather. So I'm going to kind of take advantage of being able to sit and do nothing. Maybe whittle, read. So let's go back up into the site. That is the tour of my campsite. Thanks for coming to visit my house. Beautiful day.